Hello, everybody. Welcome to Oscar Sunday. I'm Connor Eyzaguirre.
I'm Caleb Leger.
And you're probably wondering, this is not the show we expected to hear this week. Right there with you. We had a bit of a medical emergency. Everybody's okay, but Austin's daughter, Willow, has quite a fever. So he is hanging back, taking care of business, and I am taking over the Oscar episode with Caleb here, our resident Oscar hater. So this ought to be a very interesting episode.
The resident anti-Oscar man.
Yeah.
No, I had, obviously knew about what was going on with Rilla when he told me. And then you said you were doing it alone. And I was like, no, I can help. I can put aside some of the anger and I can help out here. So you have more than just yourself to bounce off of. We're past those days of the show.
Yeah, I was thinking like there'll be the first solo gig I've done in 3 years on this show, and it wouldn't feel right. It would feel weird, incomplete, and it would be shit for you guys. Like I know that. I know if you guys looked at the back catalog, I doubt anybody's listening to the ones I did myself. I don't even like listen to them. So we're gonna do what we can here to discuss the upcoming Oscars, which are tonight. If you're listening to this on Sunday. We're going to give our 2 cents on what we think is going to win, what we think should win. And we're going to end with our opinions of how to restructure the show, how to make the Oscars a little bit more palatable, more fun, more inclusive, and as Amy Schumer free as possible. So, yeah, I'm not happy about that.
What a weird set of hosts they have this year.
Regina Hall and Wanda Sykes, I can get behind. I fucking despise Amy Schumer, so I don't want her.
I've never thought she was funny. I like Regina Hall. Obviously, a lot of that love is because of Scary Movie. She was always to me one of the best parts about that. Sydney, your TV's leaking. Cracks me up every time. Wanda Sykes, she's always hilarious, like always a funny woman. I know she's been doing a lot of like animated voiceovers more recently, as opposed to a lot of live action stuff. Yeah. But again, she's still, just as funny in those as she is when it's her on screen, But yeah, Amy Schumer, I've never really liked her stand up. I haven't seen Trainwreck yet, which I hear is good, but I just haven't bothered to watch it. I'm not a huge Amy Schumer fan.
I don't like anybody who blames society when their special isn't a success. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
it's not funny.
Her last Netflix one that like bombed.
Yeah, and she's like, "Well, men don't find me funny." No, I think nobody finds you funny. Yeah, I don't think it's a gender thing.
There's plenty of female comedians doing great.
Yeah, it's not that women aren't funny; it's that you aren't funny. Anyway, she's gonna be our one of 3 hosts, so I'm gonna have to tune that shit out. But we got a very interesting bunch of films up this year. If you've been paying attention, I've seen a good chunk of these films. Some I was not able to get to. Cannot get to Parallel Mothers, just not available yet. But all 10 Best Picture nominees, I got through them, and I liked pretty much all of them, with a couple exceptions. But we'll get to that. I know you haven't been going through the Oscar stuff because you did not expect to be here tonight, and I get it. Plus, most of these films just aren't your cup of tea. I get it. We've all got genres we like, and I suffer through a lot of dramas I wouldn't rather watch because of the Oscars. I admit that.
Yeah. Hey, look, I'm proud. I'm proud of you for suffering through these. Yeah, it's not even like I'm not against things outside of horror. You know, but there's plenty of like traumas I love. Plenty of action. I love comedy. There is. I'm a big fan. I like Good Will Hunting. All right. Shawshank.
Okay. Random shout, but all right. Good Will Hunting and Shawshank. Good dramas, solid dramas.
I like some dramas. God damn it.
I've known you for a long time. I honestly can't remember a conversation we had about a drama.
I don't talk about them as often, but I do watch them and like them. I just don't talk about them as often as I do other stuff.
I believe you.
Like was it? I think he was it David O. Russell you guys talking about, like with the fighter and Silver Linings Playbook. Yeah, I love both those movies. So yeah, see, I do. They pop up here and there for me. But no, it's not my first go-to cup of tea. Like, yeah, I'm much more into like going for the horror or like the action comedies type stuff. Which is surprisingly like all three genres Oscars don't like, but hey, it is what it is. I'll get to that in the second part of the show.
Well,
but
I mean, the Oscars, this show isn't entirely just, sucking the Academy's dick. We do take them to task when we feel like they got things wrong. We think it's weird to award art in the first place, but the awards is still significant to film history. It still matters to, a film's success in some cases. Academy Award winning film, Academy Award winning actor, that carries weight in the film community. So we still like to show, celebrate the work as best we can. And but that's not saying the Oscars are infallible. They're a bunch of pretentious dicks who don't even watch the full movie. So we're working with what we got here.
That part blows my mind that they get like 15 minutes here. I'm like, if everyone like your only job is to watch the film for an award, then watch the whole film.
Yeah, I don't even get paid for this. I watched every movie in its entirety because I feel that's how you best judge a film. If you're just watching 15 minutes, how are you going to know if this is a good movie or not?
Yeah, like when was it? They watched 15 minutes of American Sniper. They clearly did not watch the scene with the fucking fake baby in the movie.
Well, I just like, thinking of my favorite movies, Back to the Future, The Mummy, Mars Attacks. There are 15-minute increments in all of these movies that are pretty boring. Like, so if you're just watching like that part of a movie, you're not going to get the full experience.
Yeah, there's even films I love, like there's very, very few films where like I'm almost going, eh. You know what I mean? During a certain part of the movie. So yeah, it's weird. But like, yeah, with that said, I don't want to bash too much right now.
Plenty of time to bash later on.
Yeah. With that said, like, look, there are Oscar nominated films I do really enjoy. But not because like for me, and I'm sure you feel the same way. It's not because of the Oscar prestige. It's just that I thought the movie was good. I want to say the year that Parasite in 1917, what was that? The 2020 Oscars?
Yeah.
Okay, that year I liked a lot of those movies. A lot. Parasite was really good. 1917 was really good. Ford F. Ferrari, Jojo Rabbit, like I was on board that year for those films. All very stellar films.
Yeah, and it is important to specify a film isn't good because it's Oscar nominated. A film is Oscar nominated most of the time because it's good. So, make sure that distinction's known. And none of these films that we've covered on this show from one to now has been, this is a great movie because the Oscars said so. That's never been the case.
Yeah. And that's just usually what ends up happening with me, right? When the Oscars are on, is that like, for me, it's a lot of films I'm not as into. So like I said, that you have your years like 2020 where like the films are nominating. I'm generally like into seeing. I'm like, oh no, these look really good. It's just a lot of times, unfortunately, it happens. A lot of this year's films are getting nominated. I wasn't jumping at the chance. I do want to watch Don't Look Up. I do, but at the same time, just because I'm so weary about political films, because some stuff in my own personal life I've talked to you about with certain family members. It's like it's hard for me sometimes to sit through those kind of films now. But with that said, like at least for here, yeah, I wasn't prepared. I wasn't expecting to be on this episode, but hey, I'll do my part to help out and do, especially for Austin's show. He's being a good dad right now and watching out for his daughter. So I'll do my best, and I may not have seen these films, but I know a lot of the directors and actors and stuff like that I feel like I can have something to do my 2 cents in.
Yeah, context clues. It's important. So I'm interested to see where this goes. So the 2022, the 94th Academy Awards are tonight, hosted by Regina Hall, Wanda Sykes, and Amy Schumer.
I like how you just silently say that one and then look away.
I don't like talking about it. I don't like knowing that I have to sit through essentially a 3-hour Amy Schumer stand-up piece because I know she's going to hog the microphone as much as she can.
Yeah, it's God. I mean, at least there's not someone problematic in the sense that like they got James Franco just for that to like age like spoiled cheese years later.
Oh boy. Well, I know Schumer tried to convince the Academy to get the Ukrainian president to zoom in for like Best Picture, which is some tone deaf shit to say. So that right there is like, this lady does not know how reality works.
No, he does. Zelensky, I believe is his name.
Yeah,
does not care. I'm sorry. Let me put some respect on that fucking glorious human being of a man. Mr. Zelensky, I'm sorry, sir, does not care about the Oscars. He's too busy taking a gun himself and defending his goddamn country.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard, but he's occupied in more ways than one right now. So, yeah, maybe don't bother him with frivolous shit like movie awards when there's a war going on. He's
stopping KGB type assassins from killing him. Like, that's what he's doing. He's not worried about the Oscars right now.
You really want this? You're going to want him presenting Best Picture? That's such a waste of his time. I can't believe this was even considered. But yeah, these are the people we're dealing with. Anyway, that's tonight's show. For the first time, they are doing a popular movie award, which is stupid, that audiences get to vote on. Apparently, the top contenders are Spider-Man No Way Home, which got almost entirely shut out, and Dune, which did not. I think it'd be funny if Dune picks up the participation trophy too.
I remember when I read about that, and I was like, you know what's sad about this is that they're doing it as usual to say that they're trying. Like, hey, look, most popular film award. They're not airing it. It was on Twitter. It's just like a thing for fans to do. It has no weight to the actual awards. It is meaningless. It is absolutely meaningless. They were just like, yep, there you go. We did it. We gave it to you guys. There you go. I'm like,
Considering like 14 to 18 people are still watching this, I mean, what have you done for me lately? You know what I mean? It just feels like, what am I getting out of this relationship?
I'm Spider-Man No Way Home nominations. That's what.
Apparently not. And that seems like a good segue into the actual nominees. We're going to talk about these a bit, talk about what we think's going to win, what we think should win, because those aren't always the same thing. And just shine a little light on these before tonight's show. So we begin with Best Visual Effects.
Okay.
Dune, Free Guy, No Time to Die, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, and Spider-Man No Way Home.
I'm going to say what will win is Dune. What will win is Dune. Oh, God. I think for me, what should win, it's actually a toss-up, honestly. And I wasn't the biggest fan of Dune, put that out there. But what should win is a toss-up between Dune and Spider-Man No Way Home for me. Absolutely. It's a real toss-up between those two.
Also, I just want to point out, I know for a fact you've seen all 5 of these.
I have seen these.
There you go.
I have seen these. Free Guy was hilarious.
Yeah.
I did not expect that movie to be as funny as it was. It was fucking hilarious.
Friendly gesture. It kills me every time.
Shield. What the shit?
Catchphrase. Dude was my favorite part of that movie. Yeah, I love that Free Guy's an Oscar-nominated film, and we could do a full Oscar Sunday on it down the road. Probably won't, but we could.
But Ryan Reynolds now has a film that's Oscar-nominated.
Yeah. I'll take it. All right, so I think it's a sure bet. Dune's winning this. The rest of these films just... James Bond does not have the best track record at the Oscars. There've been a couple, but...
No, and... visual effects, don't get me wrong, I really like No Time to Die, but it wasn't one of the reasons I liked it so much was not because of visual effects. I actually didn't even really notice that many.
Yeah, I think that's entirely for the ending with the missile barrage. I mean, that's the only effect. Maybe like the viral death that everyone get. I don't really know. I don't think this
that's the one that I was like, yeah, why?
I mean, Eternals was not a great movie, but visually it was amazing, and that should probably be here.
Visually, yeah. If you're talking visual effects, again, yeah, I'd take out No Time to Die and put in Eternals. But I don't know if they just didn't want to overload with Marvel because they had Spider-Man and Shang-Chi there.
Well, then why not throw some love to DC and throw the Suicide Squad in there?
Yeah, that's true. That was a critically like lauded film, so I don't know why they didn't just go ahead and do it for that one.
And Starro the Conqueror looked great.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I don't know. In terms of what I think should win, I think give it to Spider-Man. Just give it to Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's
it's
a toss-up. Spider-Man's visual effects were really, really good, but I mean, admittedly, I can say visually speaking, Dune visual effects wise was gorgeous. I may have been kind of like my take on Dune has always been like it felt kind of soulless to me, storyline wise and character wise. Like it was just so bland and soulless to me. But visual effects were top fucking notch. Like I won't take that away from the movie.
No, it's not winning screenplay, but it's probably going to take visual effects and I think some other production awards as well. But we'll get to that.
Yeah, but yeah, I would love for this to go to Spider-Man. It's gonna be Dune. They're going to look at that and go like, oh yeah, let's give it to Dune.
I will laugh my ass off if Free Guy gets it somehow.
I would love that.
I think that'd be amazing. But probably not.
You know that they get brought up in like Deadpool 3 as a joke.
Deadpool would just walk in with an Oscar and never address it, but he would like place it down gingerly next to like a DVD of Free Guy. It would be that like overt, and then he would just like point at it and be like, huh? And then continue with the movie. All right. Visual effects. Probably going to Dune. My vote's for Spider-Man, and your personal vote was also Spider-Man?
I'm gonna say Spider-Man as well. Yeah. I was really debating between that and Dune, but I'll go Spider-Man, just be different and not pick Dune for two different things.
Fair enough. Film editing. Don't Look Up, Dune, King Richard, The Power of the Dog, and Tick, Tick, Boom. Film editing is always the most, for me anyway, the most difficult category to kind of decide what's best. I don't really know. Editing films got, an art form in itself, and you kind of just got to make a guess here.
It's weird because unless with editing, this is some kind of I got tired in film school when I was going. But good editing, you're usually not going to notice, right? Like if it's just good traditional editing, you're not going to notice because things are flowing the way they should. Characters are, things are making sense, right? Callbacks are happening the way they should. Things like that, right?
Yeah.
Bad editing, you notice because you're like, well, why do you edit it there? You can notice bad editing.
Yeah.
If you notice good editing, it's usually a stylistic choice. Like when you watch a Tarantino film, you can notice how specific he is with for a while Sally Minky, his longtime editor, for she unfortunately passed away. He got a new one. His new editor's name slips my mind right now. Forgive me. But his films, he has a style. He has a that you can tell what his editing tricks that he's using for the film. So usually it's one of those things that if they have a style and there's a certain flair that they're adding, then you'll notice editing. But 9 times out of 10, if that's not the case and it's good editing, so you're not going to notice it. You know what I mean? Like Jurassic Park, great fucking movies. As anyone knows, is my favorite film of all time. You don't sit there and notice the editing because they just did a real good job of making sure that film flowed.
True. And I feel like at the Oscars, if you're going to be up for film editing, you got to get creative with the way you edit your film. You
got to be you should be like Tarantino or mainly those really avant-garde type of filmmakers, that are really going for it. David Lynch. Got to be like them when it comes to your editing, in my opinion.
That's why I think this is probably going to go to The Power of the Dog. I think it's the subtlety. And, there's if a film gets film editing, it's more than likely going to take Best Picture. I read that somewhere. My personal vote goes to Tick, Tick, Boom. That film is very creative in its storytelling, and the way the film is edited between Larson's play of Tick, Tick, Boom and the story of what inspired Tick, Tick, Boom is very good flow, and also very well put together. So I hope Tick, Tick, Boom takes it.
Okay, I wouldn't, just because of what I've heard that Paradox tells, which is a story that Sam Elliott did not like, set in the Old West. Um, it probably will go to because it sounds like they were trying to do like be subtle in telling their story. You know what I was thinking of actually, just it came to mind when we talked about editing. Recently Ty West's X. That was stylistic editing right there. How he was having a lot of the porn scenes of that film, the porn they were filming in that film, film within a film, match with the horror that was happening in the film that we were watching. So that's what I mean, like right there, where it's like that's very stylistic editing that you can tell that's what they're going for.
Dude, so many horror films are dependent on good editing, and they are constantly shut out by the Oscars when they are doing it better than anybody.
I would argue that. Yeah, I would argue that horror and comedy rely so much on good editing for, in one case suspense and scares, and another for a perfectly timed laugh.
Yeah, it's the hardest thing I think in storytelling is to scare somebody and to make them laugh. Like two opposite sides of the spectrum, and you got to have perfect timing, you got to have perfect atmosphere to accomplish either one. And film editing is a crucial aspect of that, and it sucks that the Academy still, after 94 shows, has not realized that.
Yeah, and this is it. They probably do. They just, but and that's why I said, like, for me, it's weird that they always pick like dramas for these, because technically speaking, a drama is never going to have that much of a stylistic edit. Usually, obviously, you have your exceptions, because you could argue Pulp Fiction's a drama, but Tarantino like really edits the fuck out of that. Or sorry, Sally Minky edits the fuck out of that with Tarantino. But not outside of that, 9 times out of 10, like it's a trauma. They're telling a fairly standard story. So it's not gonna be the most like amazingly edited thing. So just based off what I know about these films, and I know I made the Sam Elliott joke. It's just real funny that Sam Elliott has so many issues with Power of the Dog for the stupidest of reasons. But just based off the story, it's telling. And what I know about that, I wouldn't be surprised if Power of the Dog gets it.
Yeah, we'll see. It's not even the Old West. It's 1925. So Sam Elliott's got his facts wrong there too.
So it's like 5 years for the Depression. Okay.
Yeah, and it's not even like it's subtle, and it's a character development thing, but I mean it's not a big deal. It's
no.
Sam Elliott. I don't get it.
Based off the honest trailers, it's subtle but not subtle.
Just that one scene where Cumberbatch shoves a scarf down his pants. Like that's kind of it.
Well, and then they showed that scene where he's like putting the pole on the ground or whatever it is. And I was dying. I was like, yeah, that is not subtle. Look, tell your story how you want. Subtle, unsobtle, I don't give a shit. Tell it. But it made me laugh.
Yeah, there's a lot of phallic imagery, not gonna lie. Next up, costume design. Cruella, Cyrano, Dune, Nightmare Alley, and West Side Story.
Knowing, God. See, what I want to win is actually Cruella, because I thought costume design was fucking. You said costume design, right?
Yes.
Okay, costume design was fucking stellar in Cruella. Was really, really good. What I think will ultimately win, though, is you know what? I haven't seen it, but I'm actually going to say Serrano, because they love their fucking period pieces. It's a period piece, and they're wearing the period. They love that shit.
True. However, the one thing that always tends to beat a period film is a movie about fashion.
That's true too. I didn't take that into consideration.
So I think Cruella might actually get this.
You think it has a chance?
I think it does. It's a film about fashion. They show off so many different designs. They really go all out for costume in Cruella. Cyrano does have that, the period backing, but from what I hear, it's not a very good movie, and the Oscars does sometimes take that into account. Dune is just black suits in the sand, so I don't think that's going to.
Yeah, I really don't see how Dune's going to get that one, because I'm not saying the costuming is bad, but it's not the most exciting costuming I've seen.
Yeah, Nightmare Alley again, suits. Just suits in the 20s.
Yeah, and again, its costuming is really, really good. It definitely evokes the period piece, but I know you do. I know I like Nightmare Alley. I know you weren't the biggest fan of it. But yeah, it doesn't. And when I watched it, even with its costume, I didn't think like this should get an Oscar. This is splendid costuming.
And then West Side Story, I really just don't want to take anything because West Side Story already did that in 1961.
Yeah. At the same time, that's one I would not be surprised if it were to get, but I don't think they like musicals as much as they used to at the Oscars.
Thank God. You know, musicals used to have their own score category.
Yeah, I remember I listened to your guys' Wizard of Oz episode because I have seen Wizard of Oz, and I actually enjoy that movie. So hey, see there, fun little fact. I do enjoy stuff outside of horror.
I don't know. A lot of people consider Wizard of Oz to be the scariest movie of all time.
If you consider that to be scariest from all time in 2022, okay.
I know I talked about this on the Wizard of Oz, but I talked about it with Austin. I never talked about it with you. Scarecrow has a fucking gun.
Does he?
When they're hunting the witch in the woods after the wizard says, "Bring me the broomstick of the witch," and like Cowardly Lion has like a net, and you know they're all holding various weapons. Scarecrow has a fucking gun. He has a pistol.
Hell yeah, Scarecrow. Hell yeah.
Where did he get that in Oz? And why isn't he plugging monkeys?
Oz may not even be real. So like, I don't know.
It's just such a funny little detail that's never addressed. Scarecrow's just packing.
Hey, you don't know what Scarecrow's seen out on those streets, out on the yellow brick road.
Oh, yeah. So I do think Cruella is going to take it, and it is my pick for it as well.
Yeah. I watched that and I was like, this is like some fucking stellar costuming.
Yeah. When you're going to make a movie about fashion, I'm honestly surprised House of Gucci got nothing here.
Yeah, that film didn't get pretty like snubbed at the Oscars this year.
It got one nomination, which we're about to talk about. But yeah, it got completely shut out. Ridley Scott, both of his Oscar bait films got shut out. House of Gucci and The Last Duel.
God damn, not a good year for Mr. Scott. I am trying to worry about this alien movie that Petty Avers is. He going to overcompensate with that shit?
Well, I'll say this. I liked both House of Gucci and The Last Duel. I thought they were good movies. So I don't really get why they got shut out. I thought they deserved a place here. So I don't think it's Ridley Scott. That's the problem. I do think he's probably talking shit to somebody.
He has to be. I need to check those two out. I've been hearing good. Well, I've heard good things about Last Duel. You're one of the few people that really likes House of Gucci. So I'm curious to see where I stand on that because I've heard wide range of things on that one.
House of Gucci, it sold me on the performances. It's super long, but I really liked everybody's involvement. Al Pacino has like a Michael Corleone moment towards the end of the movie that was like, I knew it was you. Like he has like a recreation of that almost. And it was like, you got to see a glimpse of 70s Pacino for the first time in like 30 years. So that was really cool. Yeah, it's worth a watch. It's long as shit, but it's worth a watch.
Okay.
Best makeup and hairstyling. Coming to America, Cruella, Dune, The Eyes of Tammy Faye, and House of Gucci. Coming to America. Holy shit. Who'd have thought? The Eddie Murphy sequel that came and went that nobody liked got a nomination for best makeup.
That is weird okay.
I love when comedies randomly sneak in here. It always makes me laugh.
Right? Jackass should have come out sooner. Maybe they would have had a chance at this for how good they all look in their 50s.
Yeah, maybe. Those films, got to be edited perfectly to capture the best version of each stunt.
Yeah,
those should have
reactions.
Those should have a whole bunch of best film editing nominations.
They really should, yeah, because they have to really make sure they get good fucking shots and they linger just long enough on the reactions.
Yeah, I love when they show the fuck up for comedic effect, and then the full stunt, like when the rocket didn't shoot into the lake.
On the new one when they accidentally they were adjusting the hand for Steve-O and they fucking did it too much and it just hit him into the fucking pool.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, best makeup. This is probably gonna go to Dune for the Baron.
Yeah, but Dune's probably gonna get this. I don't think it deserves it. Based off what I've seen in trailers and screenshots of Eyes of Tammy Faye, I throw it to that because of Jessica Chastain.
Yeah.
Because holy shit, did they fucking make her look like Tammy Faye? I was even impressed when I saw that trailer. I was like, God damn.
I don't see House of Gucci taking it. I feel like they're gonna, just stare at Ridley Scott while they give it to somebody else.
Probably. Even though I'd say, like, again, based off trailer, I think that film, I would say that or Eyes of Tammy Faye. House of Gucci, Eyes of Tammy Faye, because that actually looks like they went out of the way to make the characters look as closely to these real life people as possible. Whereas Dune, like, okay, yeah, the Baron, but everyone else looks like how I expect them to look, minus Momoa being beardless.
Well, Batista was like white, like pale, like ghost white.
Like he hasn't been blue or green or whatever for Guardians of the Galaxy. Thank you.
I read that Skarsgård was in the makeup chair for like 8+ hours to become the Baron.
That's insane.
So the work that went into that, I feel like is going to be rewarded at this awards.
Probably.
So that's my pick and probably what I think is going to take it. But if Coming to America scores this, I will laugh and I will be happy. Just cause.
Because why not?
Yeah, it's from Eddie Murphy playing various characters, obviously. Now we're getting into some cool shit. Cinematography. We have Dune by Grieg Fraser, Nightmare Alley, Dan Laustsen, Power of the Dog, Ari Wegner, The Tragedy of Macbeth, Bruno Del Bonal, and West Side Story, Janusz Kaminski. Cinematography. I absolutely want this to go to The Tragedy of Macbeth.
I was about to say I'm actually going to say I'm tossed up between Nightmare Alley, which I thought cinematography was really good, Nightmare Alley, and honestly, Tragedy of Macbeth, because it's a black and white movie.
Well, that and just the way they used the camera to convey this sense of menace and isolation and complete madness was really, really good. It's my favorite version of Macbeth I've ever seen on film, and that's a big part of it. Power of the Dog has a very good chance here. The way they really shine with the Western landscape, very good. It's like the way people are filmed, small, like very small, like the land. The landscape is almost a character overarching at all times.
Okay. Then
That was good.
I'm going to say, I'm going to stick to what I've seen. I'm going to say it should go to Nightmare Alley. I will not take away what you said about Tragedy of Macbeth. I've seen the trailer for that. It looked like they were going for it hard on cinematography. And I'm going to see what will probably win will probably be, if it's any indication of how much Oscars are gunning for this film, will be The Power of the Dog. Because they really seem to have a hard on for that movie.
Yeah, well said. Yes. I wouldn't be surprised. All 5 of those films do deserve that nomination. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
Production design is the exact same set of movies: Dune, Nightmare Alley, The Power of the Dog, The Tragedy of Macbeth, and West Side Story.
I'm going to say what should win is actually, I'm going to say Nightmare Alley again, because I've seen it, right? And I really like how he brought 1930s, 40s America to life. We'll probably win. Dune, I would say Dune has a chance, depending on how much they love Villeneuve.
True. I think Dune was very well put together, though. The sets are amazing. So I think Dune will probably take this.
I was like, again, I stand by, like, technically this film it fucking lights out for me with Dune, technically speaking. It was just like the stuff I care a little bit more about. I wasn't into. Well, I didn't say hurt, but yeah, I do. I wouldn't be surprised if Dune gets this one. Production design wise, yeah, what he brought to life, very impressive.
I'm really shocked that Dune made such an Oscar splash. You don't see sci-fi make this kind of attention usually. I mean, occasionally you get an Avatar or a District 9, but most of the time it's never this big a punch.
No, it's usually like one category, one, two categories. But this year, like Dune, I would say Dune and Power of the Dog are like the two biggest dominating films.
Yep. Crazy. Next up, best sound. My least favorite category because I don't like the way they name it. Best sound is so fucking vague.
Is it just best sound now? It wasn't like two, and then they just combined it to best sound.
Yep, it was sound editing and sound mixing for the longest time, and then they just combined it into best sound instead of just calling it like best sound design or something. Best sound, that could be fucking anything. Our nominees are Belfast, Dune, No Time to Die, The Power of the Dog, and West Side Story. I think for me, when in doubt, go with the musical.
I was about to say what will probably win is West Side Story because it's a musical. I'll give James Bond some love and say it should win. I'll throw some love for James Bond for only because it's No Time to Die.
Fair enough.
I did really like the song they picked. It was for the main score, the main Bond theme in that one was really good.
Well, it's the song is up for best song. We're gonna get to that.
Oh, okay, sweet.
Yeah, I think this is more like, ambient noise and
yeah. Then I'll stick to No Time to Die.
Okay.
It had good ambient noise sounds.
I think Dune could take this because of the weird sci-fi noises they've got going around.
Yeah, when the things are flying and like the sandworms are coming down and stuff. Yeah.
But West Side Story musicals always tend to take this one, so I'm gonna bet on West Side Story.
Same. I think this could be like the one. I would say the one chance it has. I feel like.
Yeah. When you're a Jet all the way. I've seen West Side Story a lot this past year, so it's staying in here. I can't get it out. All right, next up, best original song. Be Alive from King Richard, Dos Oruguitas from Encanto, Down to Joy from Belfast, No Time to Die from No Time to Die, and Somehow You Do from 4 Good Days. This is, for me, the most interesting category here because I really, really want No Time to Die to take this so we can get a Bond film hat trick. Skyfall won, Spectre won, No Time to Die wins. We got 3 in a row, and that would be just awesome.
Oh yeah, and like I said, I really like this theme song that Billie Eilish, I believe.
We got to listen to it for 3 years until we got to see the movie.
Well, you did. Me, that's like the one thing I don't do is I don't listen to the song until the movie comes out.
You didn't listen to that till the movie came out? Wow, that's dedication.
I
listened to it the day it came out.
Anytime they do that, or like when they drop like the score for Halloween Kills, I didn't listen to it till I will not listen to the song, music until I watch the film.
I admire your tenacity.
It's like the one thing about me. It's like Josh won't read reviews or anything. I will not do the music till I go see the film.
Beautiful. Well, No Time to Die is an epic song. It's a great Bond theme, really highlights this kind of despair that is just peppered throughout No Time to Die. If you ever thought James Bond was isolated before, holy shit, does he fall down hard in this one. But also, if Dos Oruguitas gets it from Encanto, Lin-Manuel Miranda walks away with an EGOT. So,
and I was going to say, I think that's what I'm saying for what will win, because James Bond usually doesn't get love, but usually the songs tend to fare better at the Oscars, especially the Daniel Craig era of James Bond films. But Disney, I mean, they just have a track record to show you when it comes to animated film and best fucking song. Like they 9 times out of 10, if they're in that category, they're getting it. You have your exceptions, you have, the occasional loss, but their track record's like already like it's there.
You're right. I think it is also weird that they didn't nominate the Bruno song, but they are playing it at the Oscars instead of this one.
Yeah, it's weird. Like the Bruno song, you could argue is like the more recognizable song because I haven't seen it. Can't do it. I've heard it's wonderful. I need to watch it.
It's cute. The Bruno song, I don't know if you know this, is the most downloaded song Disney has ever produced. It blew Let It Go out of the fucking water.
You know what? I'm happy because what I've heard of the Bruno song, it's so much better than Let It Go. I thought Let It Go was like one of the most overrated Disney songs. I think Frozen, good film. I don't think it's a shit film. But I think it's incredibly overrated.
I'm right there with you, man. I never really got it with Frozen.
Yeah, it's not bad. I did enjoy it when I watched it, but I don't understand like the insane amount of loves it got.
Yeah.
So
Well, hopefully, if Encanto, kind of takes the crown away, maybe all these Frozen fans can let it go.
maybe then we can just sing about Bruno, even though it didn't win, but that's what people are going to do.
Yeah. Also, I just want to throw some love to Belfast. Down to Joy is such a delightful track. I read that Van Morrison, I guess, started writing that in the 70s and shelved it and then pulled it back out for Belfast, finished it, and now he's up for an Oscar, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah.
You know what I will say? I enjoyed one year. I watched the YouTube clip. I forget which Oscars it was, but when like they didn't tell anyone in the audience that they had gotten Eminem to perform "Lose Yourself" live at the Oscars.
Yeah.
And like you see even like some of the celebrities kind of getting down with it, like, okay. And then the older ones no, Tom Hanks got into it. I remember seeing him, he was like, okay, yeah. Then you saw other celebrities being like, what the fuck is going on?
That was cool because when he won for Lose Yourself back in 2002, he didn't go. He didn't think he was going to win. So he never got to perform it or, give an acceptance speech. So he got to perform at the Oscars finally.
Good for him. Nice. Yeah, especially because he seems to be in a better place.
Yeah.
Personally, musically, I've really liked his last two albums. Now that he's adopted the Slim Shady persona again. Dear God, is he cutthroat again?
I love that he doesn't give a flying fuck and is like one of the few people on earth who's uncancelable. I admire that. I admire that he just, you go after Eminem, you that old saying, like, if you're going to hit the king, you better kill the king.
Yeah. I love that, like, he had his time when he was trying to be more mature. And I like a lot of his, like, when he wasn't really Slim Shady anymore stuff, like the Recovery album and stuff. I like a lot of that stuff he did. But, fans were bitching and complaining and, so on and so forth. I said, you know what? Fine. Fuck you. And he came out with the, like, Kamikaze when he adopted the persona again and he went after everyone. And then all the people that were bitching were like, come on, man, you're like in your late 40s. You can't be doing that. That's not cool anymore. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? And his reply, I was like, well, fuck you. You want it. It's not going away now.
Yeah, that's a killer album.
That one and his last one, Music to Be Murdered By. Oh my God.
Yeah. My dad and I were talking about flow in rap. And I'm like, you want to hear flow? And I played him Godzilla and he was blown away.
The flow in that. And do you know he beat his record? His own record he got with Rap God. That last 30 seconds of the song, he beat his own fucking record in like speed and how many words he delivered and like all this shit.
Beautiful. But yeah, I'm hoping No Time to Die takes it, but safe bet is the Encanto song.
Yes, if Disney's ever nominated, just safe bet that one. And if you're asking, what about when Pixar? Guess what? Disney Pixar, right? So
you don't want to go up against Disney in the animated film category or the best song category. You're probably going to lose. It's been that way since the 30s. That's just a fact of life now.
Walt is long gone, and yet his influence has not left in those two categories when it comes to Disney.
Next up, best original score. We've got Don't Look Up by Nicholas Britell, Dune by Hans Zimmer, Encanto by Jermaine Franco, Parallel Mothers by Alberto Iglesias, and The Power of the Dog by Johnny Greenwood. I am all but sold. This is 100% going to Dune. Hans Zimmer apparently invented a new fucking instrument for this. So,
oh yeah, I remember reading about that.
That alone tells me, yeah, Hans is going to take home only his second Oscar of his career, which is crazy to me.
Really?
Yep, he won for The Lion King in '94, and then nothing.
That's so fucking weird to me because it's Hans Zimmer.
No, he's been nominated like 20 times, but he's never won apart from The Lion King. So I think it'd be cool if Dune gets him another Oscar. I know he will not be there. He said he's on tour right now, so he won't be at the ceremony, but I hope he takes it. My second place is Johnny Greenwood for Power of the Dog.
Okay. I'm going to make the safe bet of Encanto again because it's Disney. But yeah, I can see where Dune has a very good chance for once if they know that he invented a new instrument. Like that's just Oscar love right there, you know.
Well, and it's a bitchin' score. Like the music is the best part of Dune.
Dune did have a really good score. I will give them credit. It was a really good score. I want to say the safe bet on Disney as well because again, it's Disney.
Fair enough. The Power of the Dog score though is very unsettling. It's practically a horror score. It's constantly putting you in this sense of unease that something's not right, and you just kind of have to figure out like what is not right. It's a very interesting way to go, but it is great.
I am a sucker for those like subtle type of scores right there, like in The Dark Knight, which that wasn't Hans Zimmer, was it?
Yep, him and James Newton Howard, they did it together.
Okay, it was Hans Zimmer. I was like, I did not want to be, but the Joker's theme that they do, that constantly times in the room, and it's like this weird, unsettling just pitch that doesn't stop. Oh God!
Just one note, just constantly, building ever so slightly.
Yeah, and it's brilliant. Simmons is just my friend. Like, when is it going to go bad? Like, when is this going to turn south? Like, it really shows you like how like on the edge of insanity you are in those Joker scenes. Like, yeah, I am a sucker for that type of like just subtle fucking type of score.
That score is called Aggressive Expansion, and it's awesome. And the entire Dark Knight trilogy was not nominated for score, which is some bullshit. Because those are some of the best music in superhero movies ever.
I would argue that score would be another category that does really well for superhero films and horror films.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I'm hoping the Batman manages to get a nomination next year, but I'm worried it came out too early.
Yeah, because that would be really good. Speaking of which, quick side note, I finally watched the lead scene online.
Freaky, right?
I got a nice clean photo of that Joker on my phone right now because someone put up a cleaner picture. Yeah. Holy shit. Like, I looked into it. So Matt Reeves said that was a proto Joker. He does have an idea where he wants to go. Because I was like, and he goes, that wasn't the final. He goes, that's like Riddler, like proto, like this was an early Joker with an idea to have him take more of his Joker persona on down the road. So we were just seeing like a one essentially in the making. But I mean, like I said, we got the show. We have, he wants to do a trilogy, so who knows? But what I saw, I was into when he showed his fucking face and how fucked. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the hint of green hair, like not just straight up green hair, but like almost like a disease going on up there.
Yeah, it was. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Heath Ledger's design, but holy fuck on this design. Holy shit. Yeah, sorry. Quick side note on that, because I finally watched that deleted scene online. Yeah, I would be down because the score. I mean, look, I fucking loved this new Batman movie. Score was one of those things. That score, and not just in the really like the Nirvana song that I was playing, but the actual like score itself is fucking haunting.
Yeah, I hope the Batman makes a splash next year, but the Oscar window is so weird sometimes. So I don't know.
And that's something when we get into the second half, I will definitely like to talk about.
Yes. Next up, animated short film, live action short film. No offense to the creators of the short film. I don't really have much to say about these. I usually just shot in the dark,
It kind of bugs me with the short films because it's like, to me, the Oscars just saying like, look, yeah, we're supporting upcoming filmmakers when they're really not. They're just doing this preliminary, like, here you go. Like if you're like trying to break yourself out into the business and you have a short film, your best chance is to go hit up the festival circuit. Adam Green, Joe Lynch talk about all the time. Try to hit up the festival circuit and get it out there, because Oscars, like, this is kind of like the whole like most popular film to me online, like them just kind of being like, yeah, look, we're supporting new upcoming talent. Of course we are.
Yeah. So I don't even know where to find these. I guess some theaters do like a animated or a short film festival thing before the Oscars, and I've seen that done a couple times, but I've never gone to one.
Yeah, film festivals like they'll do like shorts before a film to get people to watch it, or they'll have like a short film where now we go and you watch a series of them in like a row.
No.
Obviously we know what Disney likes to do. They'll show their short films right for the actual film. So they do that a lot, which is, I think, it's really neat for them. And, works out in the case of the one, I think it was for Incredibles 2. They had that one short film, and the director for that did Turning Red very recently. So it kind of works out for a lot of those guys. They get work usually with them later. But a lot of times, the ones that they nominate at the Oscars are like, it's a bitch to fucking find them.
True. So we're going to just go ahead and skip animated short, live action short, and documentary short. Sorry.
No offense. I'm all about like new upcoming filmmakers getting out there and getting their voices into that and supporting them. But the Oscars pick ones that you can never fucking find.
Yeah, them's the breaks. Best documentary. Also have not seen these 5 films. Also kind of hard to find or have time for. But here's some, brief information. Ascension, which covers the pursuit of the Chinese dream through the social classes, prioritizing productivity and innovation. Interesting.
That could be interesting, actually.
Attica. What's this one about? I think I have a feeling. Attica.
What if you're wrong about what it's about?
Yeah, it's about the 1971 Attica uprising through interviews with inmates who were there.
I'm actually kind of interested in that one.
That sounds very intriguing.
Yeah.
Flea, which is a Danish animated documentary, follows the story of a man under the alias Amin Nawabi, who shares his hidden past of fleeing his country for the first time.
Okay.
Summer of Soul, or When the Revolution Could Not Be Televised. I remember seeing commercials for this one on Hulu. This is about the 1969 Harlem Cultural Festival, directed by Questlove.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds intriguing. That'd probably be very entertaining.
Right now, the one I want to check out is Attica, but go on.
I'm with you too. And finally, Writing with Fire. It's about the journalist running the Dalit women-led newspaper Khabar Lahiriya, an Indian documentary film. Okay, all of those sound very intriguing. I am going to throw my support behind Attica because that does sound crazy.
Yeah, especially because I know you like him, and you got me into the time suck stuff. And he mentioned a lot on that last one. We talked about the New Mexico one.
Yeah, the purge style prison riot. Yeah.
Yeah, and he mentioned Attica got more attention. The New Mexico one was much more violent. But yeah, that would be interesting. Because I have my own personal feelings on the prison system in America, and the way it's handled. So I would be very interested in seeing that documentary.
Sweet. Next up, international feature film. We have Drive My Car from Japan, Flee from Denmark, The Hand of God from Italy, Lunana, A Yak in the Classroom from Bhutan, and The Worst Person in the World from Norway. It is a complete guarantee that Drive My Car is taking this.
Is that the one they love? Is that the one the Oscars are looking at?
Yep. Good rule of thumb. If you have a foreign film that is also up for Best Picture, it is going to take Best International Film.
Okay, makes sense.
And it was great.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I don't have a leg in this race. I do love foreign cinema. I really, really do. But I will say when it comes to foreign cinema, that more than our American cinema, I do tend to stick to the horror stuff. But with that said, they do so much cool shit in different countries that, where it'd be due to like an oppressive regime or just much more freedoms than we have here. You get some wild stuff. One thing that's always bugged me, and obviously it's not an issue I worry about amongst us 4 here on Filmgazm because we all watch foreign stuff. But one thing I hate so much is when I hear people be like, I don't want to watch foreign films because I don't want to read. Well, one, get over it. what's so bad about ratings too. If it's that worrisome to you, a lot of times they have a dubbed version. I don't want to watch the dubbed version, but if you don't want to read, then put on the fucking dubbed version.
Dub versions just make me laugh because it's completely uncommitted actors fucking up the performance of a committed actor.
Oh, it's really funny.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, I enjoy foreign cinema. I like getting to see, this is a great way to experience other cultures and, filmmaking in other countries. And like Parasite, for example, highlighted the Korean class hierarchy, which I didn't know anything about. And I thought that was fascinating. Drive My Car is about the nature of grief and a guy kind of struggling to move past his wife's infidelity after he finds her dead and can't confront her about it. And it highlights the Japanese countryside. And it's a very poignant, moving film. It's also 3 hours long. So I get why people didn't watch it.
Yeah. Yeah. And like for me, like one of my favorite, I've talked about before, you know how much I love it, but one of my favorite action films of all time isn't an American film. I mean, one of them is John Wick, but the other one is the Indonesian flick, The Raid. It's a badass flick. I'll put it on anytime. I will fucking force people to sit down and read those subtitles to watch that movie. So it's like I have plenty of films I love that are not American at all. I think one of the best things that have come out of the zombie subgenre of horror recently, two best things: One Cut of the Dead and Train to Busan. Both found ways to tell incredibly gripping and riveting stories in one of the most tired fucking subgenres in horror right now. Like, so yeah, I'm a big champion of foreign cinema. I know you recently watched Autopsy of Jane Doe. You've seen Scary Stories Still in the Dark. Check out Troll Hunter from that director. It was his feature debut. Wonderful fucking movie. What he pulled off with such a low budget in that movie. Oh my God. I fucking love Troll Hunter. Great film.
Sweet. Yeah, I love exploring film of all kinds. I don't cut myself off from any culture. I'm not wanting to read. Like, grow the fuck up. You're an adult. I hate those people. But
it's
yeah,
usually the same people that probably don't like to ask for directions and don't like to read the instructions when they're assembling something. It's like, get over yourself there, buddy.
Yeah, it's all those things are pretty much the same guy, and I don't like them. So, yeah, international film probably going to be Drive My Car, which it deserves. Animated film. This is interesting. Encanto, Flea, Luca, The Mitchells versus the Machines, and Raya and the Last Dragon.
Oh.
We got 2 Disneys, 1 Pixar, a Netflix, and a Danish documentary.
That's actually the most exciting thing I think I've heard so far. Oh boy. Because it would break the mold from Disney, what should win is Mitchells versus the Machines. Wildly inventive. I actually need to finish rewatch it because I was like in and out of it when I was watching it. But what I saw, inventive, hilarious, that Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, like ADHD fucking style of humor, still works great. Wonderful fucking film. Absolutely think it should win. What will probably win, I think it's going to end up becoming just a fucking showdown between Raya and Encanto.
Yeah, this is one of the few years where Pixar does not appear to have a lock. Luca just didn't really resonate with people like Encanto did. I think Encanto's got this in the bag, but I would love to see the Mitchells versus the Machines take this. That movie was funny as hell, made my top 10. I want that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And Raya was really good, too. When Josh had his kids over one day, he had told them, oh, yeah, they call me Leggy. That's like their nickname for me. That I hadn't seen it. And his daughter was like, oh, you need to watch Raya and the Last Dragon, Leggy. She's like, when we go home, you're watching it. And I was like, okay. And we put it on. And I was like, oh, this is really good. But then I was tired, I was helping out with them. And I was very comfortable on the couch and I fell asleep. Just to wake up to a very disappointed little girl going, you fell asleep.
You shouldn't have fallen asleep. I'm with her on that.
She was very mad at me.
Raya is really, really good too.
What I saw was wonderful. Nothing is wrong. I was more tired than I thought.
Yeah. I understand why Encanto is going to take this. It's a musical about, a Colombian family. It's representative of that culture. It's a beautifully animated film. The songs are great. It's a lock.
Yeah.
Next up, adapted screenplay. Now we're getting into the big stuff.
The heavyweights, the big boys.
Oh yeah. We've got
heavyweights that, one person was told was a lightweight before we got hit in the nuts, but it's really a heavyweight. Jackass reference again. Yes.
That's not a lightweight.
That's not a lightweight. For those who want to finally get the jokes I'm saying about Jackass, if you have Paramount Plus, it's currently streaming on Paramount Plus along with the new Scream. So there you go. Oh yeah, that was great. That's not a fucking lightweight.
I've got 2 words for you: ruptured testicle. Moving on.
Oh, that hockey player. I'm coming for you next, Aaron. I was like, oh my god.
For me, it was the pogo stick where the cup fucking slipped.
Oh, I did laugh when he was adjusting on the baseball one, softball one. Sorry, and they're like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I don't know balls physics, guys." God.
God, I hope they got paid a lot. They probably didn't though. Adapted screenplay.
Or Aaron.
Aaron, like the guy who took the pain of the balls. I hope he got paid.
Probably.
We've got Coda, Drive My Car, Dune, The Lost Daughter, and The Power of the Dog. Oh boy. Power of the Dog is probably going to take this. Personally, I think it should go to Drive My Car.
Okay. I mean, of that, I've only seen Dune, and I've heard Dune's pretty fucking unfilmable. So, to Villeneuve's credit, he pulled it off for a lot of people. So I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I think he has a good chance in this category, but again, with how much they seem to be loving Power of the Dog, unless you're Sam Elliott, it sounds like it's going to probably be Power of the Dog. I hope, like, if Power of the Dog wins all these awards, they purposely find a way to get Sam Elliott at the Oscars and put him like up front. So all the awards that it's getting, they can just stare at him.
I hope if it takes Best Picture, somebody puts a tiny little mustache on the Oscar statue and a cowboy hat on it and like some assless chaps or something. Fuck you, Sam Elliott. I did not care for The Lost Daughter. I thought that was weird and off-putting and hard to follow. So I don't really get that it's why it's here. And Coda was great. So I'm okay with that taking it too. Yeah.
I've heard a lot of good things about Coda.
It's a very delightful film.
I don't have Apple TV Plus, so
I got it specifically for the podcast. I've used it maybe 3 times. They do not have a lot of output.
So I've heard.
Best original screenplay: Belfast, Don't Look Up, King Richard, Licorice Pizza, and The Worst Person in the World. For me, this is a battle between Kenneth Branagh and Paul Thomas Anderson.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah. And that's a coin toss for me because I think both those films are great.
I think what should win, Belfast. From what I understand about that film, I think what's going to win, because apparently Hollywood's super okay with the weird like age gap relationships. And look, I haven't seen Licorice Pizza yet. I do want to watch it because I'm a big Paul Thomas Anderson fan. I really like what that guy does. So I actually do really want to see Licorice Pizza. But I wouldn't be surprised if he wins because it's BTA.
I got to see Licorice Pizza the week of its premiere in Los Angeles at the Fox Theater.
And real quick for you on, it's also, from what I understand, big into Hollywood stuff. So it is probably only for Licorice Pizza, but go on.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, like, that was an incredible experience. So my heart says, my brain says Belfast. My heart says Licorice Pizza. So I'm kind of torn here, but
yeah,
it is a film about, Cooper Hoffman is an aspiring, like, he's a young actor who's trying to, make it big, but then he starts selling waterbeds and lusting after a 25-year-old woman. And he's supposed to be 15 in the movie. It's weird, and it's not exactly the best screenplay he's ever done, but it's an entertaining film, and I think it'd be cool to see Paul Thomas Anderson finally get a win. But also, I would really like to see Kenneth Branagh get a win. And Belfast was a very personal story for him. It's basically a retelling of his childhood growing up in Belfast during the Troubles. It's, that strife through the eyes of a child. And,
which is why I think it should win.
Yeah.
But I think PTA has the edge is that whole Hollywood story that they fucking die over. And again, Hollywood has kind of shown that their age gap relationship thing isn't as much of an issue as some people had with the film. Again, I'm not going to judge because I haven't seen it. I'm actually going to see if I can stream it or rent it somewhere.
I have seen it, and there is nothing in that film to justify that weird ass relationship.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if that is the one that wins because of that Hollywood story edge it has over it.
Fair enough. Don't Look Up is, I think, too political to score any wins here.
I think in 2022, kind of like how I kind of said with that film and like my personal reason, like why I've been hesitant to watch, I think there's a lot of people with political minded films. I think it's cool what Adam McKay's doing now with his career. I really do, since he's done like a Vice and The Big Short and stuff like that. I think it's really cool. He's going there and trying to put his own personal say.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's what people want, including people in the industry.
It was a good movie too, but it is just like hitting the nail on the fucking head. Like, it is not subtle. King Richard, probably not. And I have not seen The Worst Person in the World, but I do think this is Branagh versus Anderson for the title belt here.
Yeah. And King Richard's a weird one to me because I even thought about it when I was watching a lot of shows, and I remember thinking it when it got advertised, which is, I don't need a film about these two's dad. I need it about these two alone. I don't want the greatest tennis players to grace the sports biography on their dad. I want it on them.
I do think it's hilarious that he pretty much, made their careers about himself and did just, hog the spotlight. And then they make a movie about Venus and Serena and they make it about their dad.
Yeah,
the irony is palpable.
Oh yeah. And I'm not going to say I've heard Will Smith's fantastic in the movie, and I'm sure he's great. It's just it was so weird to me. And they call it King Richard. I'm like, just call it Richard. Don't put the king in there. Because then I kept thinking before it got released, I was like, oh, we're getting a movie about the King Richard. Okay, cool. No, it's about the tennis star's dad that I didn't know shit about until this fucking movie, because I don't care about their dad. I just care about Venus and Serena. That's it.
I remember when that was announced. I saw Will Smith to star in King Richard, and I'm like, really? Richard the Lionheart, played by Will Smith? Okay, this is weird. I looked into it. I'm like, oh, okay, tennis dad. And here we are.
Yeah. It's I think this is going to be this will be the Oscar film, because they do it every year, right? That it has its nominations. It's not going to win a fucking thing.
Well, I mean, that remains to be seen. When we get to Best Actor, I've got some information for you.
Oh boy. Okay.
Next up, Best Supporting Actress. Jessie Buckley in The Lost Daughter. Ariana DeBose in West Side Story. Judi Dench in Belfast. Kirsten Dunst in The Power of the Dog. And Ingenue Ellis in King Richard. I have no fucking clue. This is such a toss-up for me. I've seen all 5 of these films, but I don't have a favorite.
You know who you won't win because there's the whole fucking trauma for, I think, last week. West Side Story lady, or Ariana DeBose, I believe is how you say it.
Yeah.
I don't think she'll get it because there was that whole controversy about the Oscars not even inviting her. Wait, no, was that her or was that someone else?
That was it was the star, Rachel Ziegler, who played Maria.
Okay.
She wasn't invited.
Sorry, I flipped it. My bad. But okay. Never mind. Yeah, I don't know.
All right. I'm just saying. All right, these are my thoughts. I didn't think Kirsten Dunst's performance in The Power of the Dog was particularly Oscar worthy.
I haven't seen granted, I haven't seen Melancholia. Heard that's where she's really good. And I'm saying this as someone that like you, has a very special place in my heart for that Spider-Man trilogy. She's not the greatest actor to me.
Well, her
Also,
and Jesse Plemons, I thought, weren't great in The Power of the Dog. Cumberbatch
Really?
and Cody Smith-McPhee, I get. They were great.
Really?
Jesse Plemons...
Not even Jesse Plemons. I usually like him.
I like Jesse Plemons, too. I just didn't think... I mean, he was kind of one note in Power of the Dog. He just didn't... He was good, but he wasn't best supporting actor good.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. Cody Smith-McPhee, though, is probably going to win that. But we'll get to him. I'm going to go ahead and throw my support behind... Shit. I don't know.
I need you to pick something because I'm just going to second whatever you pick.
All right. I guess
I have absolutely zero legs in this race.
I've seen all 5 of these films, and I don't have a. All right. Okay, give me a second. I'm trying to remember moments of these movies where I'm like, that was good, and I don't have any.
Wow.
I'm sorry, but it's just yeah. All right, fuck it. Ingenue Ellis, King Richard.
Who did she play? Please
she was
Please tell me it wasn't one of the tennis stars.
No, she played their mom.
Oh, okay, I was about to be like, if they seriously went that far, saying, yeah, best supporting actress, one of the chicks that played, tennis sensation.
No, and like in probably, which I think is even more like weird, they didn't even nominate them.
Jesus Christ.
They're not even. No one's even talking about them.
The real life ladies have a career that speaks for themselves. So,
yeah, all right. I'm gonna take Jessie Buckley in The Lost Daughter. Plays a young Olivia Colman. She's good, not great. Ariana DeBose plays Anita in West Side Story. She can sing, great. Judi Dench is Grandma in Belfast. She's not in it that much. And Kirsten Dunst is really just kind of drinking and glaring the whole movie.
I'm throwing my hat in for Judi Dench because I like Judi Dench.
Fair enough. She probably isn't going to be there. I doubt if she shows up at all.
I like Judi Dench. She's the best I think we've ever had in the James Bond series. She's just an awesome lady. So
fair enough.
Throw my hat in on her.
Best supporting actor: Kieran Hines for Belfast, Troy Kotzer for Coda, Jesse Plemons for The Power of the Dog, J.K. Simmons for Being the Ricardos, and Cody Smith-McPhee for The Power of the Dog. Cody Smith-McPhee is the favorite here. He's probably going to take this, which would be cool. He's young. This would be a big boost for him.
He's a talented. I've seen him on other stuff. He's a very talented young actor. He is one of those. I think he will be someone we need to look out for as he gets older, as his career, matures and continues. He's really good young actor. I want to say he was in the Let Me In remake, and he was the Right One In remake called Let Me In. Mm-hmm. I'll double check that here, but I want to say he was in it, and he was fucking wonderful.
I think that was Asa Butterfield, but I might be wrong.
Sure? I don't think that was Asa Butterfield.
There's a lot of white, weird-eyed.
No, it was. I was right.
Actors.
Cody Smith. Smith McPhee. I was right.
All right, my bad.
He was lights out on that. That was my introduction to him. I remember thinking like, wow, this kid is good. This is a good fucking actor. So
my intro to him was X-Men Apocalypse, where he played Nightcrawler.
Oh yeah, that's right. He played Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
I pulled up his stuff right now. Oh my god, he was in The Road. Oh, that's a good movie.
I've not seen that, but I've heard that's crazy.
Oh, it's depressing as fuck, but it's a good movie. He was really good for Viggo Mortensen in that movie. Like cool. He was holding his own. I was impressed.
Nice. Yeah, he's really good in The Power of the Dog. He plays a possibly repressed young gay kid who Cumberbatch notices has some gay tendencies, but also he's, verbally and mentally abusing this kid's mom. So the relationship is tense. Cody Smith-McPhee would be, he'll be fine, but I really want this to go to Troy Kotzer for Coda.
Okay.
Yeah. He plays the main girl's father, who is he's deaf. The actor's deaf. The character's deaf. And he's a fisherman who just wants to see his daughter succeed, but doesn't quite understand why she wants to go to music school because he was born deaf. He doesn't understand the concept of music. And the whole family doesn't, except her. It's a very touching story. And he was fantastic. Yeah, this is a good group for the most part. Kieran Hines was really good in Belfast. I was reading an article about, apparently he says yes to literally everything.
I'll say I've seen that name pop up and stuff. I want to say I've seen him in a ton of stuff. He's usually really good.
Yep, he's Steppenwolf.
Oh my God, yeah, he's one of the better parts. At least one of the parts that got really improved in the Snyder cut.
Yep, he's also Aberforth Dumbledore in the last Harry Potter movie.
Oh, okay, that's okay. I thought that name was familiar. Oh, okay,
yeah. He's one of those guys you see his name all over the map because he says yes to literally everything. He said that like in his interview. He's like, yeah, I'll do anything. I'm like,
hey, good for him.
Yeah,
good for him.
You got an Oscar nomination out of it, Kieran. Good job.
Yeah. What were the other names?
Jesse Plemons and J.K. Simmons.
Oh, okay. So you had two, especially. I mean, obviously we know how great J.K. Simmons can be. I mean, we've seen Whiplash. It's fucking a beast in that movie.
In Being the Ricardos, he plays William Frawley or Bill Frawley, the one of the actors in the Lucy show. And he is very anti-communist to keep saying goofy shit about like, if that kid's a communist, I'll stamp him to death. And like just crazy shit. He's hilarious in Being the Ricardos.
Okay. That sounds like, yeah, I mean, I'm sure I know you feel the same. I fucking love J.K. Simmons. So, and Plemons, I know he had a career before I saw this movie. I know, I'm aware, but he came to my attention big time when I went to go see Game Night. And he was so fucking funny in his awkward ass role. Oh my God. He had me dying in that movie.
Yep. To me, Jesse Plemons will always be Todd, the psycho neo-Nazi nephew bad guy in the last couple seasons of Breaking Bad. He was just this unassuming dude. Is like, yeah, I'll help you cook, if you need help. And he became like Walt's new assistant. And then halfway through the fifth season, his true colors are revealed when he murders a child. And it's like, what the fuck? You're like, you didn't know who this guy was. And now you're like, oh, he's dangerous. And it just gets worse from there. He was fantastic in Breaking Bad.
That's, and I know a lot of people when I told them, I have, for those who don't know, I haven't seen Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
It's one that's been on my radar to watch for a while. I just really got to fucking carve out the time. But that's when every time I mentioned him, they're like, oh, if you liked him in Game Night or, in Antlers, I thought he was pretty good in Antlers also. They're like, yeah, see, check Breaking Bad. He's so fucking good in that. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, yeah, it's a real good, everyone in that category I like pretty much.
I think the true, in my opinion, like who I would give this to is Willem Dafoe for Spider-Man No Way Home. But
I mean, yeah.
Not here.
Yeah, because you could argue he fucking gave it his all. We didn't ask him to. He said he wanted to, including doing his own stunts. Yeah,
he did not have to go as hard as he did. He could have just taken the money and run, but no, he was like, I'm gonna do this right. I'm gonna be the MCU's greatest villain yet, and remind people, why Spider-Man was such a hit in 2002. Like, let's be honest here.
It's like that meme you see when they're like, Phil Collins didn't have to go hard for us, but he did, and the piano, whatever, was on fire for Tarzan. That's Willem Dafoe. He didn't have to go hard for us at all.
He literally could have, just said like, yeah, you can CGI me into the background for one scene and give me, $5 million. But no, he said, you want me to be the Green Goblin again? All right, let's do this.
Like, he's like, I'm not going to be a cameo. I'm doing my own stunts. Let's do this. And Marvel just went, no, that was our plan. So sweet. Come on, please.
I was reading into like their plan B if they couldn't get everybody to come back, and it was going to be Craven's Last Hunt. Like they were going to do a Craven movie.
So we had two potentially awesome movies out of the way.
Yeah, their plan was going to be Craven shows up hunting for Spider-Man. And yeah, but that was if they couldn't get Toby and Andrew and Defoe and Alfred Molina and Jamie Foxx and Reese Ifans and Thomas Hayden Church. So much had to go right.
Oh my God.
It's crazy. So great. I'm so pissed it's not here.
Most popular vote, though, dude. Most
What?
popular vote, though.
Oh god damn it. Are they the problem? Oh, by the way, they're not televising live most of the small awards.
Don't even get me started on that right now.
Yeah, just a little bit more. God,
Again,
I thought New Blood meant good things were coming.
Yeah, again, something I would definitely go into on the second half when I can rage a little bit more. I don't want to do it here, but yeah, don't even get me started on how that pissed me off when I read that.
It reminds me of Spider-Man 3 when Hoffman is giving his like presentation to Jonah about like rebranding, and he's got the like it's hip, it's now, it's wow stickers. Like that's what comes to mind. Oh god. All right. Final four, big ones. The head honchos. Best actress. Jessica Chastain for The Eyes of Tammy Faye. Olivia Colman for The Lost Daughter. Penelope Cruz for Parallel Mothers. Nicole Kidman for Being the Ricardos. And Kristen Stewart for Spencer. Academy Award nominee Kristen Stewart. That's a thing now. I have not seen Parallel Mothers because, like I said, I don't think it's been released in the United States yet, so can't do anything about that. These other four, honestly, I think Kristen Stewart is the front runner. She might actually win for Spencer.
All right, from what I've heard, they are loving her in Spencer, so I would not be surprised if it's Kristen Stewart.
It's a good performance. It wasn't amazing. I mean, maybe an English lady should have played Princess Diana. That's just my 2 cents.
Oh, dude. Oh, interesting. Then we just talk about that whole fucking thing when it came to Lara Croft, Tomb Raider.
Yeah, that's a hot button issue. I don't like Americans doing British accents because they can't fucking do it.
I'm not saying like you're wrong. I'm saying it's interesting how we talked about that for a film in 2001, and here in 2022, still having the same fucking problem.
I know. In a perfect world, Jessica Chastain takes this. She was fantastic in Tammy Faye.
I like Jessica Chastain a lot, so I'd do it. I'd give it to, no matter what, this sounds wrong. I would give her the award. I mean, she's hot too, so my other statement stands as well. But
you're telling me you'd give it to Jessica Chastain?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And then you would give her an Oscar?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I get it.
Have you seen Lawless?
I'm in the same boat, my friend. I get it.
No, as an actor, I always really, I think she's a really good actress. The only time I don't think I liked her in something was fucking Dark Phoenix.
I didn't like anything in Dark Phoenix. That's loaded with actors I like, and I thought they all got fucked from that movie.
Yeah, so I would be down for her, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's Kristen Stewart. From what I have heard, I would not be surprised if it's Kristen Stewart.
That's gonna blow my mind if she wins a fucking Oscar. I've never thought she was a good actress.
You know what that means? We're not going to see her in a Charlie's Angels sequel.
Oh no.
Anytime soon.
Oh, well, there goes my summer plans. Shit. Yeah, I guess we'll see. Nicole Kidman in Being the Ricardos. She's good. I think the makeup is more Lucy than she is. It was supposed to be Cate Blanchett, but she dropped out. And apparently the fans wanted Deborah Messing.
I'm not as familiar with Deborah Messing.
Will and Grace.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Because she kind of looks like Lucille Ball, I guess.
Yeah, both those choices would have been good.
I'm not saying Nicole Kidman wasn't good. She just didn't really look like Lucy. She looked like somebody wearing a plastic Lucy mask. So yeah, my vote goes to Jessica Chastain, but Kristen Stewart might actually pull this off.
I second that. I would go Jessica Chastain. So I like her a lot, but it's probably going to be Stewart.
Best actor: Javier Bardem, Being the Ricardos; Benedict Cumberbatch, The Power of the Dog; Andrew Garfield, Tick, Tick, Boom; Will Smith, King Richard; and Denzel Washington, The Tragedy of Macbeth. Now, from what I hear, Will Smith is the front runner.
Out of all of those names, Will Smith.
Apparently, it's like it's his turn kind of thing.
Oh, they're pulling that.
Yeah, career Oscar.
Oh, god damn it.
I am firmly behind Andrew Garfield for this.
I was about to say, taking away that shit, then the whole career Oscar, which again we'll talk about in the second half. Of that list, you're going with Andrew Garfield.
I am. He was amazing in Tick Tick Boom, and I really respect him as a performer. I'm glad he came back as Spider-Man for us fans, and I want him to get a little something for it. So, yeah, give him an Oscar.
But if you get the Oscar, he just swings on the stage. He's just in the Spider-Man costume. He doesn't leave it anymore.
Better yet, he wins, and like as he's walking up there, so does like Tobey Maguire and Tom Holland from separate parts of the stage. They're like, they called Peter Parker, right? Like, that's me. No, that's me. No, that's me. They do that.
Yeah. They do the fucking pose that they did.
I wouldn't be surprised if they all present something.
Oh yeah,
That'll probably happen.
that would be kind of cool. God, that one is hard. That it is hard because all the actors are really, really good in that category. Andrew Garfield's a wonderful performer that I don't think really gets the due that he deserves. Javier Bardem's always reliable. Like, oh god, yeah, that's tough. That is a fucking tough category. I'll second your Andrew Garfield because I don't think he's gotten his due that he should have gotten by now.
I agree. And Denzel was phenomenal in Macbeth, but he's won 2. I'd like to see somebody new get one.
Yeah, and he's been kind of on like an Oscar bait career as of late with like this and Fences. So it's like, okay, you're clearly trying. You have your 2. You're good. Like, let someone else get it, man.
There was Flight. There was Roman J. Israel Esquire. So yeah, he's been on quite a kick.
Yeah.
So yeah, Will Smith is apparently poised to take this, but I would love if Andrew Garfield got his due.
You know what they could do? They could just give Will Smith call me crazy, some kind of lifetime achievement type thing, right? That other awards show do for these people.
Oh yeah, let's see who's getting those. Who's getting the lifetime achievement award this time?
And then
the honorary Academy Awards this year are going to Samuel L. Jackson, Elaine May, and Liv Ullmann, and the Jean Hersholt Humanitarian Award is going to Danny Glover.
I can't argue those names.
Nope, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, they should do that for Will Smith at some point. I've never, again, I'll get more into it when we do the things we could fix. I've never been into the whole like, it's their time career award for an actual award, like a category. I think it's like betrays all the other people that are nominated that might actually, that have something that deserves it better.
Yep.
And I'm not saying, I do think Will Smith is a really good actor when he tries. Yes, he's made a career of being like a very charismatic leading man. There's nothing wrong with that. I love a lot of his movies. I do think he's a very incredibly charismatic person to watch on screen. But when he does step outside of his comfort zone, he has put in really good performances. I'm a big fan of Pursuit of Happiness. I think he's wonderful in that movie. But if you're not giving him this award because he is that good in King Richard, but because it's a career choice, a career award, then no, you need to look at the other 4 you nominated then.
Yeah.
And give it to one of them.
I agree. Yeah, we'll definitely be talking more about career Oscars in a bit here. Next up, Best Director. Kenneth Branagh for Belfast. Ryosuke Hamaguchi for Drive My Car. Paul Thomas Anderson for Licorice Pizza. Jane Campion for The Power of the Dog. And Steven Spielberg for West Side Story. Jane Campion is all but guaranteed this one for Power of the Dog. She's apparently been the front runner the entire award season. Who else was here?
Yeah, she'll probably win. Some good names in that one though.
Yeah, I can't believe Villeneuve got shafted for Dune.
Yeah. You think it was just? You think somehow all these Marvel comments and all these theater comments are coming back to bite these guys in the ass now? Yeah, like Nicolas Cage being like, "Let's just calm down. The Marvel films are okay, guys."
I don't know. Maybe. I don't think Spielberg should be here for West Side Story. He's done vastly superior work.
I stand by that. Like, look, if Spielberg wants to do West Side Story, fine, but I stand by what I've said before. I was with Spielberg when he did Ready Player One and looked like he wanted to have fun with his filmmaking again. But then he quickly went back to wanting to do Oscar bait and remake West Side Story. And it's like, okay, I'm not saying you don't have films of this type of Spielberg I don't like. I'm a big fan of Saving Private Ryan. I do really like Schindler's List. There are films he's made that are more traumatic, serious that I enjoy, but my preferred Spielberg is Fun Spielberg.
I don't like how West Side Story is here again, doing, getting 10 nominations again. It just bothers me. But yeah, Campion's probably going to take it, and I'm okay with that. She did a very good job with Power of the Dog. And I think, I don't know, Kenneth Branagh or Paul Thomas Anderson might get this if they don't get the screenplay. I feel like whoever doesn't get screenplay might get director.
I'm about to say it could be in a battle between Branagh and PTA. So, because they both got nominated for both categories. So, yeah, and they're due for some love at the Oscars, like actual wins. So just being nominated.
True. With that, the oftentimes final big award of the night, except for last year when they did it in the middle of the show for some reason, Best Picture.
That's weird.
Yeah, I was very concerned. Austin was in the bathroom, and I'm like, shit, Best Picture's happening. Like, it's not the end of the show, and they're doing Best Picture. Kind of took the steam out of the rest of the show.
Like, how do you follow that up? All right, now we've done Best Picture. Let's go ahead and go to Best Visual Effects. Like, not putting that award down, but
yeah,
it's kind of given.
You end with Best Picture. It's been tradition for almost 100 years.
Yeah.
Our nominees are Belfast, Coda, Don't Look Up, Drive My Car, Dune, King Richard, Licorice Pizza, Nightmare Alley, The Power of the Dog, and West Side Story. Because now it's a set 10 nominees for Best Picture every time. Going forward, that's what they're doing, which again, in the second half, I have a big problem with that. Best Picture is probably going to go to The Power of the Dog. That's the big one everyone's been talking about for a year. I would be surprised if anything else takes it away. My personal film of choice for Best Picture is Belfast. I thought that film was very good. Exemplifies everything I think a Best Picture should have. Second place is Coda. So we'll see.
Yeah, well, based on what I've been hearing, it's probably going to be Power of the Dog. Just based off the little I've seen in this category, I'm going to go Nightmare Alley. I've seen that one. And again, I did like it quite a bit. I liked how the story kind of came around at the end. I still stand by how that film ended is fucking awesome and dark as shit. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised with Power Dog. I would not be surprised one bit. Like I said, it's fine because I don't care about this much, but because I keep up to date on movie news and I get on the sites, I hear about stuff all the time, and I have heard about Power Dog constantly, and how it's the front runner and it's going to get it. So it's I would not be surprised if this wins.
Yeah, fair enough. It's not really going to be a shock show this year, I don't think. I think it's going to be pretty by the numbers. The front runners are probably going to get it. There might be a couple surprises, but I don't expect this to be a, stop the presses kind of event. But I'll still watch it. 94th Academy Awards. That is all for our predictions. Thank you for putting in some effort. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. I thought I had quite a bit to this conversation.
You did. That went well. With that, let's talk about what's wrong with the Oscars. Now, the Academy Awards are not infallible. They've changed the show countless times. I mean, as you guys have seen in past episodes, categories like Best Score, mostly Best Score really have been 10 to 15 films per category in some cases. It's ridiculous. It's why we don't often do showdowns in for films that were late 30s to early 50s, because it's 15 films per Best Picture category. It's fucking crazy. We don't have that kind of time. That's why we haven't done Casablanca yet, because it was up against a fuck ton of movies, most of which don't even exist anymore. You can't find them. So What do we do with that? Anyway, we figured we could cap off this episode by talking about some things that we think the current Oscars are doing poorly and could improve upon, and just kind of riff for a while. We don't really have a planned list, just kind of riffing and another thing, like that. So why don't you start us out?
Planned list, so
what?
I definitely did not have a planned list.
I know you didn't, but I don't have one either.
Okay. My first big thing, I'm actually going to not go straight for the genre thing first, but my first big thing would be making it films year round, all films year round, not just from November, November-ish to January timeframe.
I agree. That's always bugged me. The window makes no sense. It's like March is the official window start, but very few films throughout the summer are ever up for anything substantial beyond production stuff. The award season is September to January, and that's dumb. It should be 2021. January to December is the window. That's what it should be.
Yeah, because all it's to me doing, and I see it all the time, and being a horror fan, and this is where it kind of gets annoying, is that you're placing a certain amount of prestige on a certain kind of film, but then, and just because people are stupid, it makes everything else to people seem like it's not of their time, it's shit. It shouldn't be as valued as what the Oscars are saying are during this window of time that they're nominating films. And that's why I say, I guess to an extent this covers time frame and genre, but it should be all of 2021, all of 2020. It should be that year in film. Everything.
Yeah.
Should count.
I agree. I mean, like you said, it's creating this mentality of only films released in that window are you should care about. And that's certainly the approach Netflix has taken to their output. Every film that they think is worthy of attention gets thrown into that window, leaving everything else just kind of be, spotlighted for 3 days and then dropped off the map, which is unfortunate. And it does put a damper on genre for sure. But I think if Oscar season was the year, I think every company would put the same amount of effort pushing, Dune as they would Texas Chainsaw Massacre, just in case.
Yeah, just in case. Because there's been many years 2018 Hereditary. Toni Collette should have been nominated. I don't give a shit if she had won or not, but she should have been nominated.
She should have won straight up. That was the performance of that year. We talked about that a lot.
She was stellar, and both in the horror scenes and to this day, the one scene that always springs to mind. It's not even a horror scene; it's the dinner scene when she explodes on her son. Yeah. Wonderful fucking acting, and the fact that because for them it was released during the summer, I believe, actually, weirdly enough, and because it was a horror film, they were like, "No, we're not doing it." And it's well, but why? You're supposed to be the best of film that year. So why not?
Yeah, it's stupid. That's a good point. Yeah, award season should be the full year. I don't get why it's not. My big beef, my first beef, I don't like 10 nominees for Best Picture. That is too much. It dilutes the importance of that category. 5 is enough. Every other category is 5.
I was gonna say it should just be 5 for Christ's sakes.
It was 5 for decades, and then around 2009 they decided to go back to 8 to 10, and then this year they capped it at a full 10 every time, and that is terrible. It's way too many films for us to watch, for people keeping up on this, and a lot of those films don't deserve to be there in the first place. They just had to fill spots.
Yeah, and especially if if they're literally only having time to watch 15-minute clips, drop that shit back down to 5, watch the whole movie.
Yeah, it literally, for when we do a Best Picture showdown, we have a 4-week period to watch the films nominated for Best Picture, so we can do a showdown when we get to every 5th episode. We pull it off every time. It's not hard, and we have shit to do. We have jobs and school and lives outside of this show, and we still find a way to watch those films in time for the show. So what's their fucking excuse?
Yeah, when they're bored, that is their job. Like, that is literally their job. They're sent this shit in advance before it's widely released.
Yeah. Also, yeah, we're paying for the movies too. Jesus. Oh, that irks me so much. All right, your turn.
I was like, that's a great segue to the next thing. Board members, watch the whole fucking movie. Like, it's fucking insane to me that they are the ones awarding this and they don't watch the whole movie.
Yeah. It is literally like if I was judging a, like a cooking contest and I didn't fucking eat it. Like, what do I have to say about this? But nothing I say matters because I didn't try it.
It is like the definition of like the online trolls that don't watch it. Oh, the fanboys that see like a little bit here, just that, hey, Heath Ledger's playing the Joker, and they're like, no, and they just rage immediately. And then they actually finally see the footage and they're like, oh, well, okay. It's like, well, yeah, shit, because you actually watched the footage. Same with the goddamn awards. Like, you can't say shit till you watch the entire movie. Because who knows? Like I said earlier, they might get the fucking scene where it's the fake ass baby and American Sniper and go, all right. Not the other 2 hours of the film.
Yeah, that's a big one. If you're gonna judge art, watch the art. I feel like I shouldn't have to say this. This should be a guarantee. I mean, unbelievable. And you work and like your life revolves around cinema. Why wouldn't you want to watch the whole thing? Why are you just, dipping your toes in a pond? And if it's a world that you are a part of,
you sat there and made this like prestigious aura around these types of films. So the films you want to watch anyway. So why aren't you watching the whole fucking movie?
Yeah, that's a good one. That's bugged me for years. Here's a minor one, just while we're talking about the Oscars, best sound design. Best sound is too vague. It bothers me. I don't know what to think. Sound design makes way more sense. It's more palatable. Just do that.
Just add design to the word sound.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And also, this is also a minor one. No, it's a major one. Well, all right. Oh, do you want to get into like categories they should have?
Sure. I was going to quickly say before we do that, before we go down the categories, it kind of leads to it. What we talked about earlier with Will Smith's award. No more fucking, it's their due time. We gotta give it to them if they don't deserve for that film award. No more fucking career awards. You have a lifetime achievement award for that shit. Do it for that. You judge these people in this category based off that movie. Nothing else.
I second that 100%. That bugs me so much. Fucking Jack Palance and City Slickers, Al Pacino and Scent of a Woman. Like, Jack Palance in City Slickers, he's there for 5 minutes. It's not a great performance. Why did he get an Oscar? Pacino, you should have given it to him for The Godfather 2 or Serpico or one of those, and given that one to Denzel Washington and Malcolm X. Just that's my thoughts. But yeah, the career Oscar is terrible. I mean, Scorsese did great work with The Departed, but he earned that for Goodfellas.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I mean, because I stand by, for me personally, like Leo, great work in The Revenant. I would have given it to him for something like Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah. I would have given it to him for Django.
Or Django. I'm not putting down his work in The Revenant. I really like The Revenant. Really good movie. Not what I would have given him the award for, though. There's like 5 other films I would have given to him for that.
Yep. Yeah, good point. Good one. I think personally there's a lot of categories missing from the Oscars. My first that I think they should have, best vocal performance.
Oh, for to go with the songs.
Yeah, for animated films, like best voiceover performance and that kind of thing.
Yeah. If you're going to take time to nominate animated films, yes, vocal performance. But that kind of goes to the whole overarching issue that I briefly hinted at with they should be a year-round actual look at is what the Oscars likes to do with saying this is an Oscar film, this is shit. Essentially, right? Like, and as we know, unless it's fucking Disney, their history with animated films, with horror, with comedy, with action, with anything that isn't like Oscar bait trauma, isn't that great.
Yeah, you're right.
So,
but it's not even just animated films. Like take Her, for example. Scarlett Johansson's performance as the AI in Her.
Really good.
Yeah, that got a lot of attention outside of the Oscars, and they didn't even consider her because it wasn't a physical performance. So I think that's bullshit.
And as we kind of talked about, and you've finally kind of vibed with me more on it, with things like the recent set of Halloween films. I've kind of talked about with Friday 13th. Like sometimes, like with actors that aren't saying anything, how good they can be by not saying a word. To me, the same thing with a vocal performance. Like how good an actor can be just using their voice. They don't need to use their body. Their voice is doing all the work, and you believe it.
Yep. I firmly believe that should be a category as well as best stunt. The fact that has not happened yet is criminal.
Look, we've had some people die in the making of a film. Okay. Like, yes, some people deserve a fucking category because guess what? All those action movies, all those things that look so cool that the actor does, they don't fucking do because it's too, unless it's the Jackass films, unless you're fucking Tom Cruise. The studio does not want to risk hurting their star. So they get a fucking stunt person in there to do it. That's willing to fucking risk life and limb for the movie.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like they deserve way more recognition, and the Oscars would be a great way for them to, be recognized. It's just it's common sense to me.
Yeah, no, I'm astounded we still don't have that.
Unreal. As for the show itself, I think we are way past the idea of an Oscar host. We've proven in the past, I think, two or three shows, it's completely unnecessary. We don't need an MC cracking jokes, giving the audience pizza, doing like reveals of like, here's some peons from outside. Look at all these celebrities. Isn't that great? We don't need that shit. It wastes time. It bloats the show up to over 3 hours, and it's a waste of time.
Yeah, it's a waste of time. And if you've seen kind of like when the Golden Globes were being aired, when they get someone we like for a host like Ricky Gervais, he's too real with them and brutally honest, and they go, "Ooh, we don't want that. You're supposed to be sucking the dick of everyone. No, get out of here." I still love his speech. Sorry, I still love his speech when he was like, "This isn't about y'all." Or well, just shut the fuck up, say thank you, go. That was beautiful.
That was amazing. He did not care. He didn't give a shit. And now the Globes are dead. So good work, Ricky.
Yeah, because we need him to say this. I feel like we need him to say the same thing. Because if I hear any celebrity try to fucking say shit about Ukraine and Russia tonight or tomorrow night,
I just don't, we don't need it. Just start the show with presenters and just keep going. We don't need this every few minutes a joke from Amy Schumer. We don't need it, and we don't want it either. So that's also, you could trim this shit down to 2 hours.
Yeah, three hours is I know they kind of like The Walking Dead. Oscars are having ratings issues and they don't want to admit it, which is weird. I think yes, one of the things you could do to fix that, 1.5 to 2 hours.
Yeah. Big time.
If you just give me all the categories. Don't do what you're fucking doing this year and cutting out categories that need to be aired and give people that recognition. No, cut down on your fucking stupid ass host and show all the awards.
Also, and I know this is tough because it goes right along with time management, but I don't like when they start playing people off. I think that's rude. I think, this is the moment of their life. I mean, those actors will probably be back, but those short film guys, they're accepting an Oscar. This is the first and only time they will probably ever do this. It's a big moment. And yeah, they're going to get flustered. They're going to talk a little fast. They're going to start thanking people randomly. Let them have their moment. Just let them have their moment and, carve it off the back end. Just don't cut them off. They need this.
Yeah, when they played the music as they're still talking, and then like the host comes out and awkwardly is escorting them off, and I'm like, oh my god, just let them talk.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. It's sad. So just let them talk. I noticed last year they weren't doing that much. They're starting to ease off on that, I think.
Yeah.
But,
well, again, if they got rid of the host, they wouldn't have to do it at all, because then you could literally just have time for presenters, awards, speech, next one.
Yeah. Also, don't shave the time out of the in memoriam, because they did that last year, and they had names, and then about halfway through it was names like super fast because they ran out of time, and that was some insensitive shit.
Don't even get me started on the in memoriam right now. Like, not only did they do that, there's names they don't put up there if they're not Oscar worthy, in their opinion, performers. There are a lot of fucking people in the horror genre, my genre that I love so much, that pass away during the year that get zero love when it comes out. Like Sid Haig, when he passed away, no love at the Oscars. But this is the guy that gave us so much later in his career with things like Devil's Rejects and his work with Rob Zombie. But look at I implore anyone who only knows him from that, look at what he did in his early career. He was in a lot of big stuff.
Yeah, I think that that leads me right to my biggest beef. Show some goddamn respect to the genre films. Be inclusive. You know why people don't watch your show? Because you load it up with pretentious bullshit, and you don't. I mean, as we saw with their lack of nominations for Spider-Man, they're just not in tune with the way the public watches films. They don't care about what we think, but they expect us to watch their show.
Right.
And you can't have that. If you're going to, you got to bring something to the table for everybody. And I'm not saying have a best horror film category. I'm saying mold that into the show. The makeup effects for horror films, give that some love. Production design, score, best picture if they're worthy. Horror, sci-fi, action. These people making these films work sometimes twice, 3 times as hard as the people doing dramas. Show them some love. Show them you care. Show them you recognize their skills and their hard work. And people will flock to the show. I guarantee you.
Yes. And then don't do what you did in 2017 when they nominated Get Out. But there was, if you ever read into behind the scenes on that, the young members they had brought onto the board finally were all down for Get Out, but the older board members were against it and just were vehemently pissed off that Get Out was sitting there and did not want it, and it just became a case of it's nominated, but we're not giving it anything.
I was pretty pissed.
But I think it got a screenplay award, I believe.
It did win, Peel won for screenplay, which was awesome.
Yeah, but other than that, they were we'll give you this, but we're giving you nothing else. It's you could just tell the older board members, especially, were just pissed. Yeah. And it's I don't understand that. So you nominate it, but you're mad about it.
And there's another one. I think there should be term limits. I think once you're 60, you're out. You can't comprehend current cinema. You're trapped in the fucking 70s. You're gone. We don't need you. New blood constantly.
And this is the thing, right? This is what kills me. Those board members, like you said right there, they're trapped in the 70s. They forget the crazy amount of authorship that was happening in that decade when you were getting stuff like Easy Rider and Clockwork Orange and Jaws and just a treasure trove of different shit.
Yep.
That all just was, at the end of the day, good cinema, good films.
The Academy used to reward creativity and experimentation. We've seen that throughout the 70s, especially. And somewhere along the line, it just became a conveyor belt of drama. And I don't like that. I mean, there's moments giving Parasite a win was really cool. Mm-hmm. But, one every 2-3 years ain't going to cut it. That's not change. That's a mild swelling, as Max Schreck once said. It's
them trying to show that no, we do it, but they don't mean it. It's an empty celebration, empty award to me of them saying no, we do it. Look, we did it, but they don't want to. They don't mean it. They're not happy. Like I said, we get out. They weren't happy about it.
Well, they always expect us to be like, all right, now, like they go, all right, now here, fine, now shut up. That's what it is. It's here's your movie. Now go away. But that's not what we want. We want permanent change, permanent address to all of this shit.
Yes. Like, I don't want you to just do it one year and then, it's fine. Cause I know when they do it, you like to text me like, hey, look, see, and I'm always like, I'll stand by when they mean it. Like,
yeah,
when they mean it, I'll be in, but I just get tired of them doing it to, like you said, okay, here, we gave it to you guys. Shut the fuck up. Watch our show. And it's like, well, no, I won't. I
love vanilla ice cream. Do I want to eat it all the time? No, I don't. Sometimes I want chocolate. Sometimes I want strawberry. Sometimes I want to go nuts and get some kind of mochaccino shit. I like variety in all aspects of my life, film included. So let's stop eating vanilla ice cream every fucking year and get a new flavor in there once in a while. I think that's a pretty goddamn good metaphor myself.
You used ice cream like that Dave Chappelle joke with Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
For some reason I was thinking of the Batman scene when he's like, you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. Like, I don't know why that popped in my head when he talked about ice cream, but it popped in my head.
Yeah. It's maybe my favorite moment in the entire Batman franchise. Just Michael Keaton losing his fucking mind on the Joker. Not even Batman, just Bruce Wayne being like channeling his inner Beetlejuice. You want to get nuts? It's beautiful. Anyway, yeah, I think these are all valid reasons for not wanting to watch the Oscars. It doesn't reflect the current state of the film industry. People, fans or people making these movies. It's, Spielberg's here again.
Yeah, for a film, I don't think he should really get it for, if you ask me.
It's these legacy names that are like guaranteed a spot just because of who they are.
Yes. And that's why, like, I guess to kind of really define where I stand, because I know it's been like, oh, Caleb hates the Oscars, and I do, but to see where like I stand, right? I have nothing against award shows or things like that. I think they can be a whole lot of fun. I do. Because I do watch, I'm big into like the Fangoria or Chainsaw Awards every year. They do a big horror thing. A podcast I listen to, Horror Critters, they do this thing called the Hereditary. It's their own awards thing. So I'm into it, and I do partake in a lot of those. But like I said, it needs to, I think for me to finally get on board with the Oscars, they need to make these changes, and they need to mean it. These empty promises don't do it for me when I can see through the bullshit, essentially. When I can sit there and go like, oh, okay, cool, they nominated Get Out. They don't want to, they don't mean it, but when they finally start to mean it and they want to actively make that change, I will start to get more on board when there's more variety. So when it's not just trauma after trauma after trauma after trauma, getting like variety in these movies getting nominated, I'll be there. I will. I'll be down to watch. But until then, I'm not giving them that time of day.
Yeah, I get it. I understand. I got no argument for the Oscars. I mean, they're a bunch of, pretentious film nerds who don't understand how what people want to see. I get that. And, like we've always tried to do with this show is celebrate the work, the importance of, the films themselves. And we're going to keep doing that. But we also hope that the Oscars, gets a little more in tune with this stuff.
Yeah. There's a lot of films I like that have Oscar wins, Oscar nominations. Ultimately, like I said at the beginning, it's not because it's Oscars that I love it. I just really like the film. Like you said, one of our upcoming episodes for here is going to be on Jaws, right? I don't love it because it's an Oscar winner. I just really love that movie. It's a fantastic film. It's a great film. Silence of the Lambs, it's a great film. Godfather, great film. Yeah, they have Oscar prestige to them.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I like them because they're great films. It's just a bonus that, hey, they got a win or a nomination.
Yeah.
The Oscars.
That's the thing. If they were completely shut out, they would still be great films. This was fun. I'm glad we were able to do this. Obviously not the ideal scenario for this episode, but you know what? We made it work. We made something I thought was very fun.
Yeah, I had more fun than I thought.
Yeah. Before we get into next week's episode, do you want to lay out some information? You can always follow us on our socials, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're Filmgazm Productions. You can check out the website, filmgazm.com, for all sorts of reviews and articles and trailers. And if you want to support the show, you can click on support this podcast on your provider, and we appreciate it. Next week on Oscar Sunday, as Caleb said, Jaws.
Well, the cat bag early, but I can't contain my excitement for Jaws.
Oh, I get it.
Movie. Surprisingly, not my favorite Spielberg. That still stands as Jurassic Park for anyone that knows me, but fucking Jaws is up there.
My favorite's probably Raiders, but you know what? Jaws is like right the fuck up there. I love Spielberg. Well, I love who Spielberg used to be.
I stand by it. One Spielberg was the best.
Yeah, Jaws is one of the few horror films to score a nomination for Best Picture. And as Austin said last week, this episode is sandwiched between two awesome movies. Jaws is the other one. So we're going to be covering Jaws. It's going to be awesome. We covered it on Filmgazm a long time ago, but it's time to give it the Oscar Sunday treatment and just revisit this epic movie that is one of a universal favorite of the entire team.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I can't. Can I go ahead and just spill the beans on it?
Yeah, go nuts.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking forward to guest hosting on that episode. Being able to talk about Jaws. I think you guys when you did on Filmgazm, I believe was when I was on deployment, so I was not able to participate. So I'm really looking forward to doing this, and to an extent being able to give out my own awards for a film I've seen 1,000 times. I have the 4K of it now. So I am looking forward to fucking busting that open, see how glorious that thing looks in 4K on my TV. So I'm very excited to talk about Jaws.
Oh hell yeah, man! Me too. We're creeping up to 100 episodes of Oscar Sunday, so we got a lot of cool shit coming up to celebrate 100 episodes. On the Filmgazm podcast, first on Sneak Preview will be an Oscars recap with either Austin or Caleb, depending on how events unfold. I will be there. That's a guarantee. But it'll be fun. And then, we'll go through some recent, I saw The Lost City, so I'll talk a little bit about that. But it'll be a mainly Oscars recap show.
If I'm on there, I saw Spider Night on Shudder. I'll talk about that.
Nice.
So I highly recommend that. It's a short film that you watch when you have time, Connor. It's fucking awesome.
I promise you I will if I have time. Wednesday, we're talking Dracula. Very excited. Filmgazm, Dracula, going classics.
Literally watching it as soon as we get done recording this. So I'm very happy, very excited.
I'm looking forward to it as well. And then on Fridays Beyond the Bad, we are finally going into the realm of Star Wars with Star Wars The Clone Wars 2008, the animated film that did not do nearly as well as Star Wars is supposed to do, and yet spawned a highly successful and critically acclaimed animated series. Who knew?
That was the only thing Disney kept canon when they bought the fucking franchise.
Thank God, because now what they're doing with their current shows is building off of that big time.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun talking about Star Wars for the first time on this podcast network we've got here. Hopefully not the last. Well, I'm looking forward to watching the Oscars tonight. And despite all of their problems, it's still a fun award show that celebrates the magic of film, which has come to represent so much importance in my life. So I take away whatever I can get from it. And I hope you guys do too. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week.